Hello, today is Saturday, the 12th day of October, 2013. My name is Derek and welcome to this weekend's analysis. This video will start off with a bit of talk on the debt ceiling, which will transition into two silver charts, the daily and the quarterly. After that is done, a little bit of off-topic stuff within NFL selections and some bookie psychology. Finishing off with definitions, play on words. So let's get started. This is an article that I recently looked at. There will be no link for this article, but if you want to read it, my suggestion is type in part of the headline. It will come up on almost every single search engine. And it's called Debt Ceiling 2013. All your questions about the deadline answered. Well, there's a good chance if you have some pretty serious questions, they will not be answered within it. But there is one paragraph within it that I'm going to read, which states currently the debt limit is $16.4 trillion. The federal debt actually reached the debt limit in May, but the Treasury Department has been using accounting gimmicks to keep borrowing until the debt limit is increased. When those gimmicks stop working, which will happen either on October 17th or the 20th, the consequences will be either bad or very bad. So going over some of these words, first of all, the debt limit, $16.4 trillion, which I was stating last week that the distance from where we are to the sun is actually lower in centimeters. That just shows you how large of a number that happens to be. The Treasury Department using accounting gimmicks. And they've done a lot of gimmicks to have this system created in the first place. When the gimmicks stop working and when the whole economic model stops working, what will the consequences be? But the key thing is either happening October 17th or the 20th. That's the end of the upcoming week. So when I go over the silver chart, just remember that this is going to affect it greatly, to say the least. And when you understand how fiat currency is created, whether you listen to the likes of Edward Griffin, who is the author of The Creature from Jekyll Island, Peter Joseph, who has made the Zeitgeist series, the documentary Zeitgeist Federal Reserve, which came out many years ago, and Edward Griffin's Creature from Jekyll Island a couple decades ago. So this information's now out, but of course the public still extremely unaware, for the most part, of what is going on. Okay, so now let's get on to the silver charts. Let's quickly move on to the daily chart. As we move forward, we're going to have 4 candles added, and then Friday's session will come in. Don't be surprised if volatility comes in. And how is this going to play out, the debt ceiling for the chart? I don't know, maybe them raising the debt ceiling is bullish. Extremely bullish. Maybe it's extremely bearish, and maybe it's going to bring sideways action, because when they state markets go up or down on whatever news, I'm not going to believe it. I don't care if you believe it or not, but don't expect me to. Plain and simple. Okay, so we've talked about this symmetrical triangle, pretty much still in play. Nothing has broke within it. Of course, there's a lot of sideways nonsense and choppy up and down action. The Fibonacci retracement from this low to this high, as we can see, hit this point here, has resisted this level. And just by looking at this blindly, you can tell that from this low to this high, it is retraced about 61.8%. Generally speaking, you come down and test this level, you increase the chances that you take it out. You come down, right off the bat, it could very easily break through, as well as maybe coming up, making a significant lower high. 21 mid-change would be one of those areas. Back down again. Oh, the odds are huge now that you would at least break this level, which would create further bear market or that big failed move before the fast move. Either or. Just some of the things to look at. Again, the debt ceiling limit's going to make this thing go up or down big one way or the other, most likely. As far as the quarterly chart is concerned, the movement last month or last quarter was a gain of 10%. So far, down just 32 cents for this quarter, but it's only been 11 days into it so far. Obviously in the uptrend, but what has occurred is this 18 average band has went sideways, and this is the second consecutive period in which is trading right now below the 18 average of lows, stating, is this the end of this 10-year bull market? Maybe. Or is this, of course, that failed breakdown that's going to create a fast move? When you're talking quarterly chart, this thing can play out within 4, 5, 6, 7 periods. That's a couple of years almost. Who knows how long this thing is going to play out? Well, I don't know. Maybe you do, but I don't. That's what I'll say about that. Now, last quarter was an inside quarter, which is defined as your high for the period lower than the previous one, and your low higher than the previous one. Now, there's quite a few inside quarters, and in a little bit I'm going to show you every single one, and that little bit is now. Okay, so every single little purple dot, the one that's reflected, is that of an inside quarter. This whole period in here, all choppy action, not going to put much into that. This inside quarter, did it start a bull market? Well, one may say, and the only real bad one that has resulted within it was in here in 2008. I wouldn't lead too much into it, but just something that I would like to bring up anyway. Let's move on to the NFL picks and some psychology. Top play for myself this weekend. I don't know how good it's going to be. One, because of my record so far. And two, because of all the psychology I'm going to go over. Denver and Jacksonville game, over 53 total points. This, when I was looking at it, I presumed had about a 65% occurrence of going well above this. And from what I've seen, both the professionals and the public are betting over on this total. Vegas will lose a decent amount if this game goes over. Now, what I'm concerned about is Vegas knows something for this game to be an under, for the number is not higher. Now, what this means is if everybody is on one side, well, this number would go up to 54, 55, or if you wanted to bet higher, which means the juice has been added, that means you'd have to risk a lot more on the wager. That hasn't happened. I'm really concerned that they know something. They want to take action. Psychology. I'm not going to reverse my wager, but I'm just going to see how this plays out. Psychology number 2, and that's the New England Patriots and New Orleans Saints game to do under the total. Right now it's 50.5. This is a situation where the public loves going on the over, but the professionals so far loves going on the under. And this is awesome because this is playing out well. Unlike the Denver game, there's no reason to be concerned with the Vegas action as the public has brought it up from 49 up to 50.5 as the public money, currency, has driven the line higher. And it's kind of psychotic, in my opinion, to call these fiat currency systems as money. And that's where we're going to lead into next as we talk about a few definitions. Psychotic is defined as characterized by or afflicted with psychosis. And psychosis, well, that's a term for a mental state often described as involving a loss of contact with reality. Loss of contact with reality. Money. This is on the Wikipedia page. The main functions of money are distinguished as a medium of exchange. Check mark. A unit of account. Check mark. A store of value. Get your buzzer that a game show has. Put that baby on. So money must be a store of value. It's not, yet we all call it that and see it as that, which means we got a vast majority of the population with a loss of contact with reality. And how insane is that? So when I talk about the complacency of the human race, I don't know how deep in the rabbit hole within this it will actually go. which is to me the biggest risk on a bullish level for the price of silver, for actually not going higher, because powers that be, bankers, are able to do what they want because the masses have a loss of contact with reality in regards to that of money. I would like to thank Mike Maloney many years ago for helping my brain set really not call it money, call it currency, fiat debt notes, anything of that level, but not money, because it has no store of value. In fact, it does the exact opposite, as it loses value. Thank you for tuning in to this video, and have yourself a magnificent week. Bye-bye.